Kia ora Year 11 and Year 12. This video is going to go through 5 examples of completing the square pretty slowly. I'd like you to have a look at the 5 questions I'm going to do, write them out into your book, leaving space in between each one, and in some cases quite a bit of space, right, once we get past the first 2. These ones are quite tricky examples. And then I want you to have a go at completing the square before you watch the video, because if you're in my class, we've done this a few times this year. So you might be fine with the simpler ones and just have trouble when we get to some of the things with fractions and surds, that's square roots. So try those first. Okay, so question 1 goes like this. X squared plus 8x minus 20 equals 0. Now the idea of completing the square is that we want to end up with something like this. And then we're going to take square roots of each side, and eventually we're going to solve our equation. It's an alternative method to factorizing, which we can't always do, and the quadratic formula. In fact, all the quadratic formula is completing the square for a general case, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So at the end of this video, if you've got the stomach for it, you might want to go and watch the video where I prove the quadratic formula, because it is simply completing the square with a, b and c. But we're going to start with an easier one, which is this question here. So whenever I try to complete the square, I want to get this squared term here, and I do it by taking the first 2 terms. So I've got x squared plus 8x. We're going to go x plus 4 squared. Now, if you look at what happens when you expand that, you get x squared plus 8x, which is all good, but you also get a plus 16 on the end. Right, so think back to when you first learned how to expand quadratics. We've got x squared plus 4x plus 8x, but we've got plus 4 times plus 4. Now, we never wanted that, we just wanted x squared plus 8x. So, as well as taking out the 20, we have to take out that 16 that we've added in kind of by mistake. Right, so we don't want the plus 16, so we take it out. And you'll notice that we always have the pattern where it's a take away the thing that we've added in. Right? So cleaning that up now, we get x plus 4 squared is equal to 36. We're going to take the square root of each side. So we get x plus 4 equals either the square root of 36, which is 6, or the negative of that, so negative 6. Right, because negative 6 squared will give me 36, and 6 squared will give me 36. And we don't have any idea of which one it is, so we have to consider both. Next step is to say that x must be equal to negative 4 plus or minus, and now we can simplify this to 6. That means that x is equal to negative 4 minus 6, or negative 4 plus 6, which is negative 10 or 2. Now there are a couple of interesting things about the graph that we can see now. These 2 solutions are my x-intercepts, which we also call the roots of the equation. But we can also go back and look at the equation written here. So look at this version here, which is x plus 4 squared minus 36. This equals 0. This lets me read off the vertex. So I'm going to hop over to one of my favourite graphing packages, Desmos now, and we're going to see both of those things. So I want you to look for the x-intercepts and for the vertex. We'll see if this works. Right, here we are. So this is my graph of x squared plus 8x minus 20. I can't draw on this with writing, but I can show you. When I click on there, you can see the vertex is coming up at negative 4 and negative 36. One of the good things about completing the square form is I can read that vertex off from my equation. And if we move up, we can see my 2 intercepts, as we just proved, are at negative, where are we? Negative 10, 0, and 2, 0. Okay, so now back into OneNote and we'll look at equation 2. Right, so equation 2 is one that's about the same level of difficulty. It's x squared minus 6x plus 2 is equal to 0. I think that's right. Yep, x squared minus 6x plus 2 equals 0. Equation number 2. So this one I'm going to do much more quickly. We take the first two terms, we halve this, and we've now accidentally added in 9. So we have x minus 3 squared is equal to 7, which gives me x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus root 7. So x is equal to 3 plus root 7, or 3 minus root 7. Now that's a really lovely answer, that's giving an exact value, but we often will want to get it as a decimal approximation to 2 decimal places. So to 2 dp, that gives me 5.65 or 0.35. So that's just grabbing your calculator and working that out. Now we're again going to look on Desmos to see what it looks like. Remember, we've written our equation like this: x minus 3 squared minus 7 equals 0. So what we want to see when we go over to the graph is that the vertex is going to be at 3 and negative 7, right? Because when I make x3 in here, this whole term becomes 0. That's the lowest it can ever be. And so the left-hand side is going to be 0 minus 7. All right, so let's see if that's right. I'll take off the first graph, put this one on, take that one off. And look, that's exactly what we've got. We've got a vertex here, which is at, where is my pen? 3 and negative 7. And then we've got this value here, which is what we found of 5.65. And we've got this one here of 0.35. Okay, our third equation is getting a little bit harder. And I've done this one on purpose because it's got two things in it that are good to know. The first thing we've already seen, which is we haven't got everything onto one side, so we're going to fix that. But for the first time, we've got a 2 here. Now, let's see what we can do with this. Well, we're going to start out by rewriting it as 2x squared minus 10x minus 3 is equal to 0. I could start boxing this up, but that's going to make life a little bit harder. It does work, but with year 11s and 12s, what I usually suggest we do is always try to get x squared to be 1. So we're going to divide through both sides by 2. So we get x squared minus 5x minus 3 over 2 is equal to 0. And now off we go, but for the first time, this number is odd. So our brains have to work a little bit harder at these. Okay, so here the step was we divide both sides by 2. And now we're again going to halve that 5 and keep going as usual. So we've got minus 3 over 2. Now what have I added in? Well, by mistake I've added in 5 over 2 squared, which is 25 over 4. Try to work with fractions if you can. Certainly for level 3 calculus you need to be very confident with this kind of thing anyway, so don't turn all of this into a decimal just yet, unless you're really desperate. So here we've got minus 25 over 4 equals 0. So let's clean that up. Well, we've got x minus 5 over 2 squared is equal to 25 over 4 plus 3 over 2. And that equals 25 plus 6 over 4, so we're just doing equivalent fractions, which is 31 over 4. Taking square roots of both sides, here's what I get. X minus 5 on 2 is equal to plus or minus the square root of this. So we get x is equal to 5 over 2 plus or minus the square root of 31 on 4. Now I know some of you are going to grab your calculators, and that's okay, but I want to just start working with surds more. So we can think of that as plus or minus this, the square root of 31 over the square root of 4, which is the same as 5 over 2 plus or minus root 31 over 2. So x is equal to 5 plus root 31 over 2, or 5 minus root 31 over 2. If I change that to a decimal, I get 5.28, or negative 0.28, going to 2dp. I've got that one in Desmos as well, so let's have a look at it. Right, so we've got another parabola. This is 2x squared minus 10x minus 3. Let's see if that works for the x-intercepts. And yes, it does. There's the first one, negative 0.28 coming up on the screen. And this one is 5.28 or 5.284. And again, we can see the vertex down here at 2.5 and negative 15.5. And that comes back to our working back up in here. So the 2.5 is coming out of here, and the 31 over 4 is this bit in here. Alright, we've got a couple more to go that are quite similar, but because you've asked me in class for more examples of these, I am going to keep going, even though they're a bit same. So the fourth example is this one here. So y plus 1 is equal to 3y squared. This is question 4. Rewriting it, we get 3y squared minus y minus 1 equals 0. We don't like the 3, so we divide through everything by 3. We have y squared minus 1/3 y minus 1/3 is 0. We box the first two terms, and we halve that 1/3. So half of a third is 1/6. So y minus 1/6 all squared minus 1/3 minus this thing squared, which is 1 over 36, and that's equal to 0. So if you're not liking this bit, go right back to that first example where there were no fractions and make sure you've really understood those ones first. So now we have y minus 1/6 squared is equal to 1/3 plus 1/36, which is 12 plus 1 over 36, or 13 over 36. Next, we take the square root, remembering that it could have come, the solution could have come from a positive or negative of the square root. So y equals 1/6 plus or minus, and simplifying the third again, root 13 over 6. So my two solutions are y equals 1 plus root 13 on 6, or 1 minus root 13 on 6. So that's my exact solution. A decimal approximation of that is 0.77, or negative 0.43. Now I'm nearly at my limit for time, and I suspect my viewers have long since left this video because I know it's not exactly exciting completing the square. So that last question, question 5, I'm going to save for another video. But you'll notice in it that the difference here is that we have to decide what our variable is first of all, and we're still going to have it be x, because this time I've got k in here as well. But I'll start you off with a clue for this one. It's negative x squared plus 3kx plus 5k squared, writing that in our usual order. And I don't ever want to work with a negative as my coefficient. So I'll multiply through by negative 1, and I get x squared minus 3kx minus 5k squared equals 0. And I'm going to just be really mean and jump to the answers. And you can leave me a comment and tell me if you got there or not. We end up with x is equal to, well, it's 3k on 2 plus or minus the square root of 29 times k on 2. And we could write that as 3 plus root 29 k over 2, or 3 minus root 29 over 2k. Right, this kind of question is definitely heading up towards something you'd find in an excellence problem. Okay, so please don't freak out about it if you look at that one and you're still having trouble. Thanks for watching. Time's up. I will be back later on today with some more.